Alright, hey, so I only have a moment to do a very quick stream, but I wanted to do a follow up reflecting on what was potentially the first stream. So this is potentially episode 2, pending I can finish in time. But after reviewing the first episode, I was reflecting on all the things I was doing. And for the first Twitch stream, I noticed that I was twitching a lot myself. There was a lot of facial scratching and like picking at things or scratching my ears and other things like that. So I just wanted to go through and address some of those things. I like self-reflection and self-criticism. Maybe I'm a little hard on myself, possibly, hopefully not. But I think it's always good to be self-motivated to improve. The other thing, I seemed, at least in my eyes, compared to the audio streams, all the episodes prior, as I was testing some of the highlights, I was so focused on Adobe Audition that when I went to do potentially episode 1 after finishing the audio testing, I was very aware that I was no longer focused on something like Adobe Audition. The focus was on me, and having to juggle all the consoles and things like that. I don't know. I will call it potentially nerves, probably nerves, and just minor fidgeting, tapping, or just that, looking away. Didn't like looking away. I looked to the sides a lot. Looking up when thinking, that's okay. For contemplation, things like that. Looking down, surprisingly, totally fine with. If I'm looking for words, pondering something. But the sides, wasn't feeling that. Now, looking at the camera like this, that's all fair and good. However, I realize, although I'd prefer to look directly at the camera when talking, before I had myself full screen on the monitor, so my attention was mostly to myself on the monitor. I tried focusing on the camera like this, but I realized when streaming, I won't be able to just stare into the camera, nor should I. So yeah. Anyways, with that said, another thing, as I watched all those videos, the focus is all of this. My camera, my webcam is full screen. Once I get the capture card up and running and potentially a better PC to stream, my webcam window will be much smaller. And then all the things like fidgeting or the occasional scratch will be much less obvious. But being me watching my own video, it drove me crazy up the wall, and I figured it would drive other people's crazy as well. So perhaps not. But anyways, I just wanted to address some of those things rather quickly. Again, I'll be running out of here in a moment's notice. I think there were some other things on my list of things that I didn't really care for. Shaking. Let's see. The mic? No? Maybe? Anyways, I do that thing where your knees twitch when you're sitting there. I'm great at it. But anyways, irrelevant. So yeah, trying to not fidget and shake as much. Trying to not twitch while on Twitch. That's gonna be my goal. Right now, still, and for the foreseeable episodes, it will be going through not so much the devices, some of them. I'll touch back on all the consoles, but just focusing on the games themselves. More trips down memory lane, again, until I can get the actual streaming components up and running. I have the capture card, it's just my Mac isn't really up to the standards that it needs to be able to utilize it. So right now I'm just going through OBS, and that's about it. So I don't think there was anything else. No scratching. Don't look away from the sides when not needed. Try to maintain eye contact with the camera. Just a lot of basic stuff, but I noticed me doing a ton of them. I want to set I think there's a straw poll feature. I want to see who can count or guess the right amount of times that I was able to, like, scratch my damn beard, which, haha, you can see is gone. That sorry excuse of a beard slash squirrel living on my face was bothering me like no other. Normally, I'm fairly clean shaven like this, but being on my research bender and trying to figure out how to get Adobe Audition up and running was my focus for quite a few days and hours, and it was good. It was an eye opener. So I'm glad I did it. Glad I figured it out. Hopefully there's no real background noise on this. I did notice at the beginning of the episode, though, although I was able to basically eliminate the background noise, I thought I noticed some, like, popping or, like, clipping in the very beginning of the video, a few. And I think I noticed that too on, like, the one or two, like, well, the 2 or 3 videos leading up to the end of last season's audio testing, season 0. And that was not planned. I ended up just recording everything streaming as I was going through Adobe Audition, just to be on Twitch, just to have a live feed going out. And at the end of it, I realized that I could just take highlights and kind of compile it to make a really odd, semi-insightful, hopefully, going from someone who had 0 experience with Adobe Audition and really any of the Adobe products. I think I tried to use Photoshop like 15 years ago, very briefly. I think I made like a circle, threw some color and shading on there, but that was about it. I've used Notepad on Microsoft Word, or what is it? Yeah, Notepad and on Microsoft way more than I've used Photoshop, and I haven't had to use Notepad ever since I had a Mac, and I've had a Mac for the last 15 years, so very little experience with Adobe Audition. I looked for the couple YouTube videos on how to implement the background noise effect, but with all the mic setup and gain levels and all that, and trying to get the correct audio feed out through Twitch or through OBS onto my Twitch stream and all that, it was a nightmare, but it was worth capturing. At least I thought it was. So yeah, that's that. And then I'll probably do another follow-up series to that as I delve deeper into it, now that I have a general idea of what to look for, some of the effects, and just how the Adobe environment works. Even some of the other Adobe programs, it looks like they've got similar interfaces. So, but yeah, it was good. So I enjoyed that. But aside from that, all the twitching, that was awful. There was another one. It's obvious, but not talking while I'm looking away from the mic, waiting to come back. I kept running back to grab things, and I'd be yammering, and it'd be all muffled. That's not good. So wait to get back to talk. But yeah, I think that's about it. Anyways, so I'm off on my adventure, and I think the following episode after this should be going through either Super Nintendo. I think it'll be Super Nintendo. I got a lot of games. I think I've got like 20 or 30 Super Nintendo games. I don't know if I'll be able to make it through all of them. Maybe I'll have to break it up into groups of 10 or so, or maybe do 5 from Super Nintendo and 5 from N64 as we walk down memory lane. I just want to keep getting a few more videos out before TwitchCon, which I think is, I know it's less than 10 days. The twitching. Did you guys see that? Yeah, that's bad. Heal. So yeah, that's that. So the games, TwitchCon, really gotta get on that. All the 3-day tickets are sold out. I think all that's left are regular tickets for the single days, Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So I may need to buy 3 separate tickets. The other option is somehow to get a partner ticket. I don't know if anyone sells industry passes or badges outside of the convention. I know that's looked down upon, but borderline desperate ongoing, so haven't really done a lot of the. I've done car conventions like the LA Auto Show, if that really counts as a convention, but haven't done Comic-Con. Wanted to go to VidCon, couldn't make it. I was on vacation. But TwitchCon, I'm definitely interested in going to that, especially after doing all the research I've done, started to get this going. So I think it would be very good insight, at least for the partner passes or the industry passes, because I know they've got like industry pre-show events, I think, each day. I'm dying to see what is behind the curtain instead of just the regular free-for-all show that might entail the regular Twitch goer ticket. So we'll see. All right. I am about to be late if I don't leave now. So I'm going to end this stream and continue on in the future. Goodbye for now. And stop.